Wednesday.
It is Wednesday. It is totally Wednesday. And now this feels like it's really far up again. Oh, I can't quite get it. Oh, now, hi.
Hi. I can scooch closer. We just don't. We don't know what to do with all of our space. We're like, we can spread out.
I know we have a new area. We started here, ironically. We were turned, but yeah.
This was the well, not original.
Right.
The very first one was way over by the fabric.
Yes, we stood in front of
an iPad and had no idea what we were doing.
doing.
And then when we moved over here, we got a little fancy.
Yep.
And then we moved to the middle of that room.
Yes.
Got a little fancier.
Right.
Moved to the back of that room. Got a little fancier.
Right.
And here we are.
And more space.
I think we look pretty fancy.
Yes.
But I don't know what to do with all this space.
I know.
I keep like waiting to run into something.
We have elbow room.
Bam! Here, let me sit close to you so I can bump something. I feel very alone in the corner. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes. It's crazy. It's been a really interesting weekend.
Yes.
You guys worked really, really hard, and we've been talking about this for like years, right? So it's kind of exciting.
We really have. It's funny because I feel like a lot of people think that I decided to do all of this and didn't ask anybody else, and I'm like, this has been an ongoing thing. This is not a me thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm part of it, obviously, but I mean,
right.
Yeah. So I've found that to be a little entertaining.
Yes.
But, come back this afternoon and you will see what the heck we're talking about.
We're going to take you on a tour of
whirlwind
the
tour.
New and improved Labu.
Yeah, it's
this store looks fantastic.
It's very,
we have a little bit
of
like fine tuning to do.
Yeah,
still,
for sure.
But boy, the big picture, it just looks like a whole new
The big picture has come into form.
Yes.
We just have to. There's a few little things that are like, that's maybe not quite right, but we're doing really good. Yes. So you guys will have to come check it out.
Yep. Oh yeah, I am trying to confuse you. Names are backwards. I can fix that. There we go.
Ta-da!
See, someone knows.
Just so you guys know, I can't read the screen today. I tried to put my contact. I had my contact in, and it was just floating around my eye, and I couldn't even blink without it. And I was like, I can't do that all day. So pop that out.
Yep.
And I have absolutely no mid-range vision right now. So I got some close-ups for reading, and I can see everything far away beautifully. But everything in the middle is not an option.
Blurry. All right. That's all right. Well,
so I think that was my mom.
That's your mom. Yeah.
Hi, Mom. So.
All right. So this morning we have the Kimberbell.
The Kimberbell. It's a digital dealer. In case you are wondering if you're in the right spot or not.
Yes.
And I actually really like this one.
It's very cute.
I mean, I can't tell you the last time I played Tic Tac Toe.
Right.
But I want to play.
Yes. Lisa and I are going to be in the corner playing Tic Tac Toe.
We're going to probably be playing Tic Tac Toe today.
Yeah.
So they are very, very cute. So the idea is that we'll have the little cinch sacks, which are one of the blanks, and ours are coming. We're not really sure what happened to our order, but they are fixing that. So ours are coming, and they are 2-pack, which is nice.
Yep.
So it's very reasonably priced. So you get the 2-pack there, and we're going to stitch Tic Tac Toe on the outside along with the little grid, and then we're going to make the X's and the O's.
Yes.
So
the X's and O's take a little bit of time. Nobody puts baby in the corner. Take a little bit of time to stitch out. So we're going to start one here and show you all of the different steps. And then we have a little
stitch the whole thing live.
Movie magic. We already did it. So,
but we'll make sure that all of the steps are covered.
Yes.
So we'll start with that.
Yep.
And then we will get right into how to stitch the bag and even sewing the bag together once you're finished.
Awesome. All right.
Look at that. That looks so pretty.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So in a 5x7 hoop, which is what we have here, we have a no-show mesh. Mesh.
We have water soluble mesh.
That one. Yep. I'm like, that's not right. Stop. Wash away mesh.
Yep.
And that is all that's in there. There's only one layer. You do not need to bulk up on that for this. It's not like a heavy lace project from that perspective.
No, and we're
so
adding tulle and mylar so that it's going to give it
it's
a
going
little
to
bit
keep
more.
it a little bit more stable
Yes.
on its own. So one layer of, again, water soluble stabilizer.
Yes.
I apologize on that one.
It's very hard to do this on no show mesh.
Do not do this on no show mesh. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Do not use no show mesh because you need it to rinse away so that your X's and O's don't have edges.
Yes.
So water soluble mesh, and we just have in a standard bobbin at this point, there is going to be a lot of bobbin
Changing.
Because
these are reversible, so you kind of see
right,
them from both
it's
sides.
going to be like lace from that aspect. It doesn't super matter what we put that down with. So since we have white in there, let's
do
put white up top.
All right, so we've just got white we're putting in, so whatever white you have. We could put the trash can between us.
Oh, we could do that.
We could have 2 trash cans.
I was just going to say, we could maybe even get 2 over
One
here.
over
that
there.
that
Oh,
might
look at
be,
that. Wow.
You have to pass me your trash anymore? What are we going to do?
Oh, man.
This is fancy over here. All right. So this is just going to be the placement for our layers, and then we'll talk about what the layers are here in just a second.
You're going to need some tape.
You are going to
Kimberbell
need
tape.
some tape, and pretty much throughout this section of the project, you are going to be matching your bobbin thread to your top thread. So every time you change your top thread color, you're going to change your bobbin color as well.
Yes.
So keep that in mind as you are working your way through. It is going to be literally a constant every time thing. All right, so you want to pop over here. I don't think we can do this in that view. So, all righty. So I've got that prepped for the next one here. So here is, you can see the white line there. So we have 3 different layers that we need to put down. The first is going to be a piece of tulle. All right. And if you've worked with that before, you know it's going to stick to that mesh. So it's not going to lay down really smoothly until you kind of smush it out. In the directions, it does say to tape each layer. You guys know I'm not a big taper, but you don't want puckers and bunching up. So making sure that they do lay fairly flat is probably not a crappy idea. At least a little bit. Okay. And then the pretty stuff, we're going to put our mylar in. And again, this is all being done in one shot. We are not tacking individual layers down, which is the only reason that I'm taping all of the layers, is because I don't want them shifting as it is, as it's working its way around.
Right. That would not be good.
All righty. And finally, one more piece of tulle. This is going to help give the project stability. Wow, there's like nowhere to tape this. Let's try over here this time.
So you've made a tulle sandwich with mylar in between, right?
That is exactly correct. The tulle is my bread, and the mylar is my meat and potatoes.
Right. It's definitely not your peanut butter.
Definitely not peanut butter, because that's gross stuff. All right, so I have a sandwich there, and again, it's tulle, mylar, and then tulle. And now we're going to go back to the machine, and still with matching, we're going to go ahead and baste all of that in place, so that as we're working through our X's and O's, Now, it does say, even in the instructions, if you have any wrinkles or bumps or something, don't stress. The mylar stitch will squish all
Yeah.
of that down. So don't stress if it's not 100% perfect. But you know, I mean, you don't want a huge fold or something like
Right.
that. But if it's a little bubbly in there, don't worry about it. You can leave all of your tape in place. There's absolutely nothing that we need to do at this point other than change our thread.
Okay.
And if we change our top thread,
We need to change our
we
bobbin
also
thread.
need to change our bobbin thread. So the first thing that's going to stitch is the decorative, it's going to be the outline. Yep, the outline. So the dimensional pieces tack down outline stitches. So I'm going to, it says to do that in the color. I have a feeling she did not do that.
Change the bobbin thread to match the top thread. Stitch the dimensional game pieces, tack down lines. All
So
right.
this is going to be the outline.
Yep.
So should we leave that in white?
Yeah, let's leave that in white.
Let's leave that in white.
But do you want me to put bobbin thread in, or do you want me to leave?
I don't care.
Okay.
What do
There's
you
not
wanna do?
much
There's
there.
not a whole lot in there.
Yeah, so let me go ahead and change that. So I'm gonna just put, I have a white bobbin here. We're gonna do the outline, and then we're gonna do the, like the mash down, right? In this color, the inside.
That is, so this is literally just going to trace the X's and the O's and where they're going to be stitched.
Right, and then the next thing
And then
is,
the next one is going to be the mylar stitch. So the little fill
right,
of the exit, X's first and
Okay.
then the O's. So whichever, do we want to make the same colors
Sure.
or do we want to alter them?
We can change if you want.
So we have the light purple going in. Where's the light purple? There's so much room here. I didn't
Can't
see it.
yes.
Um,
Or do we want to go opposite and do X's and like change the color for X and O? Tic Tac Toe. Yep.
Sorry, that's all that's your fault,
I
by the
know.
way. Okay, so interesting. So the reason that I decided to go with white on this, in case anybody at home's going, why were they talking about that, is that this is both X's and O's.
Yep.
So we're doing different colors for them,
Yes.
drastically different colors instead of, you know, shades of pink like what the picture kind of shows. So I didn't want the opposite color to
Yeah.
pop through because it doesn't stop here.
Right.
It does for the rest of them.
I think you could probably do, in reality, you could do the little mylar tack down in white and then just do a color for the outside satin stitch. And I think that would
We
also
could
be
do
really
that.
cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's do that because then we can show the difference because we have our other sample.
So you want to leave white
Let's leave white for
for the next stitches
the next
too as well.
stitch,
Okay,
yes.
we can do that. There's nowhere to put my feet.
because the bar is too
The
far.
bar is really far away.
Yeah.
So many changes.
Oreos, she said. An Oreo sandwich.
I like Oreos.
Who doesn't like an Oreo, right?
I mean, a regular Oreo got to be like doused
Double.
in milk.
Yes.
Double stuff and doused in milk.
That sounds good.
But
oh
I
my
will
gosh.
say,
I watched somebody put, this was like the smartest thing ever. Have you seen anybody put a fork in between
Yeah.
and dunk? Why did I never think of that? So that's brilliant. Eat your Oreos with a fork.
yeah,
Dunk. Yeah.
like Tucker eats her Cheetos with a fork.
She does, so she doesn't get her
She
fingers
doesn't get her fingers orange.
orange. Yep.
I always think that's cute
Yes.
when I see her over there with a fork in her little bag.
Bag of Cheetos. Yeah.
But yeah, I've been really into lemon Oreos lately.
Interesting.
Those are very good.
Yeah.
If you like lemon, they're
Right.
very good. I mean, obviously, if you don't like lemon, that might not be your thing, but they are pretty tasty. hard to find a good lemon cookie.
Yeah.
Too lemon, not lemon enough, too dry,
Too dry, yeah.
But yep,
Or
I've
overpowered with the lemon.
overpowering, yep.
Or that, is that lemon?
I think that was made with powdered lemonade lemon.
Oh, good morning, Becky. You
Good
didn't miss much.
morning.
We're starting our X's and O's for our Tic Tac Toe game board. And this is like a tulle sandwich. We have tulle, mylar tulle on some water soluble mesh.
Stabilizer.
Yes.
Yes. Not to be confused with that other thing I said.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Not the other mesh.
No. So I worked on that file for Samantha last night, and I stayed up maybe a little too late. Yeah. It's like, oh, I gotta go to bed. Now we're into the X. These are really cute. I was picturing them larger in my head.
Yeah. I can see that.
I don't know if that's because I was thinking we did X's and then we did, they weren't all in one hoop.
Right.
But when you think about how big the front of that bag is, they could be a whole lot bigger than those. So they could maybe be a little bigger, but
For sure.
But not much. Nope.
My charger's out for delivery.
Hey.
The stand won't come till tomorrow though, but this worked.
So all of that shine there, of course, the little tint of yellow, that is from the mylar. This is an iridescent mylar. So did you hear something funky?
I did.
Still threaded though, so.
I know. I was just thinking the
You're the one that wanted to use that. Let's just remember.
the thread gods might be getting me. Good morning, Dee.
All right, so those are the outlines. So once you have that down, you're going to then, starting with the X's, it'll be the interior stitches of, yeah, I didn't like that.
No.
Let's just rethread. We've got something. I think we got a loop or something somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shoot.
Do we think we should check the bobbin?
Probably.
No, that's fun.
Definitely was a top thread issue.
Yeah.
So we've got a little thread goober here we're gonna get rid of.
Now, are you supposed to cut all your tail threads after the top part's done, or so that they don't get caught underneath it? You want to show what they're doing so they can see if this happens to them.
So we got a thread goober right here, just a whole yuck. I don't know if you guys could hear that on
the camera.
From the camera perspective, but oh goodness, hope you didn't hear that. Oh my. Okay. Having some machine. Okay, so if you heard that, it was kind of like a clunk, 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 and we both recognize that as being a thread sound that's not supposed to make that. So we stopped everything and rethreaded. We were pretty sure it was the top thread, which it was. But I am removing all of that because we want these to look pretty on the back too. Wow, that's a new one. Okay. So we're going to come back over here and try not to do that again. Oh my goodness gracious.
So I have the buttons also backwards on here. So we're at the trim when we're on the sewing machine.
Oh, well,
So
that's an
far,
easy fix.
I've managed
All
to
right, do
be
we need
okay.
to back that up, or
Yep.
you think we're good?
Maybe just a few.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
It's never dull in
Cindy
here.
wants to know if we're okay, just barely.
We're okay. I haven't not your pass on.
Was your reaction which got me? Oh, okay.
Kept going. Wait.
Oh.
Before we do the fill stitches, we want to trim our tails.
Okay. Now we want to trim.
I'm going to take a deep, calming breath and stop my giggling because holy
Oh.
crow. All right, so before you do that interior stitch here, you want to make sure that your tails aren't going to get sewn in. So we're just going to go through and clean up the back of the hoop, which this honestly is a very good practice. I mean, I do this on my own if I'm doing patches and things like that. I always clean up or lace. I always clean up the back of the hoop before I move to the next one because errant strands of thread can really look rough. I don't know that this particular project is going to have as much concern, but there's a lot of threads back here. So it's always better to start with a clean slate and stop it. You're not helping. Just gonna step away for a little bit there.
I'm fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine.
Glad I could be so entertaining. That was pretty good though. Oh my goodness, so many tails.
I told Tony he had to be quiet while we were filming because he would hear him if he was carrying on back there. He's probably wondering what the heck's going on out
Don't
here.
start singing, right?
Right?
Every once in a while he does sing back there, so it's probably a good warning.
Yeah.
He probably wouldn't want to be on film doing that. Which I can completely understand, not wanting to be on film doing things. All right, so are we gonna do like 1X?
Yeah.
And then 1O and then skip?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I think I've got the bulk of those. There's a lot, you know, with each, the inner and the outer circle, there was double for each of the O's. No wonder Carolyn was like, there's so many things. All righty, I think we're good there. Gonna go back to the machine and Now going to do the fill stitch. So we're gonna cut out some of the stitch time here. We're only gonna do 1X and 1O live. So we're just gonna jump ahead.
Need tissue?
No, I'm all right. There's a box behind us just in case you ever need that.
Oh, Tucker brought a
I
box
see
too.
that.
And now I've got two. Oh.
That was a first. I can't lean over like that. All right. All right, let's jump up a color. Yeah, that's so hard, isn't it?
Yes. You gotta say to me, you gotta jump down at a color, and
Jump
then I'll
down
go
a color.
to the right way.
Push the down arrow, Sarah.
I do it every single time, and as soon as I hit it, I know. Like, and my finger is going there, and I'm like, I'm already committed.
She's gonna do it
Just
anyway.
gonna do it. Oh. Dee is asking if we're gonna do a K-Day party, and Connie says it's so much fun to watch you guys laughing at me and stitching.
Heyday party. We haven't quite figured out what we're doing.
No, we're probably gonna do something, but we're still trying to work out the logistics of this. So you would keep doing all of your X's and all of your O's.
Right. Don't stop like we just did.
Right.
We're just going to finish out one of each live, and then we're gonna go into the bag so that you guys don't have to sit here all day.
So now we have the outside color.
So you want to go to the purple, or do we want
Let's
to
do
completely
teal and
let's
do opposite.
teal and
yes.
do opposite? All right. So if we are changing our top thread, we are also changing our bobbin thread. So we're going to put teal. We are using Floriani PF223, if anybody wants to know. I decided against pink. I said no.
Yeah, we decided it should be in our colors.
It just gets better and better.
The darn machine and its process.
It's like, I know what I want. Stop. All right. So now, once you have all of the mylar fill done, all right, probably supposed to trim the back.
Probably.
Trim the back of the hoop.
Yes.
I'm skipping that
Yes.
because this will take me a while. All right. We're going to then change your top thread and your bobbin thread, and it will do the outline
Oh, that's cute.
again. All right. And it does a satin stitch.
Cindy said she lost sound. Can you not hear us? I didn't mute us. I'm hoping that that's a glitch on your end. If you can hear us, give us a thumbs up, or because you just never know. Anything is possible. I still got lights on my.
I got lights
on yours. Okay. She can't hear you. Oh, but Jane can hear you. So I'm thinking it's on your end, Miss Cindy, which you can't hear me saying.
It's not us.
All right. Anybody else on Facebook? She said thanks.
All right. So that is then how that's going to look. And again, we're going to repeat that for, I probably was supposed to trim there. See, I'm so, yeah, we were probably supposed to trim all of that away. Yeah. Let's do that now.
Okay. What are we supposed to trim?
The mylar.
Oh, okay.
We have to, I apologize. I'm gonna try to pay a little better attention. This jumping around the design messes me up. All right, so we need to trim these before you do that. So don't do that. You need to get rid of all of the excess. It seemed like such a great idea to have Carolyn do this the first time. So the tricky thing is, of course, we need to do all 3 layers. Both inside and outside when it comes to the circle.
So trim everything but your stabilizer,
Correct.
which shouldn't be too bad because you're trimming, I mean, kind of a pain, but you're trimming on top.
And you have that heavy running stitch that tacked everything down to
Guide.
kind of keep you
The
clear.
mylar looks like super green.
Yeah, it looks yellow over there.
Yeah,
It looks pink over here.
maybe the reflection of the quilt.
All right, so the section that we're going to stitch, I have removed all of the excess mylar. It looks like I got most of the tulle, but I have a little bit of tulle stuck in there.
You can pull the mylar pieces away. It's the tulle that you
It's
can't
the tulle
rip.
that won't tear.
Yeah,
So,
but the tulle does give it a little bit more stability.
yep. So kind of change the directions a little, you know, move things around to see if you got it all. I think I got everything now from that section there.
So you would trim all of yours and then do the next step.
And since it's here in my hand, why not, right?
Mhm.
There you go. All right, so that's what we're going to do. So to back up, before you change your
Yeah,
colors,
before you do what we did with the X.
before you do this outline, you need to do this.
Because it's going to be really hard.
Yep.
You
You'll
get
you'll end up with
cutting
edge
Yeah, or cutting
around
through
the
your satin
outside, and
stitches.
you don't want to do that. All right.
Oh, we're going to change our thread. I should have been doing that while you were doing that. It's hard to get good help.
It is so hard. All right, so we are putting in our purple now, which is what our secondary color of letters are. So pretending that you finished off your X's.
Yep. And this is a Floriani color PF694. It's a real deep purple.
Once you finish those, then you're going to come down and do, where in the heck is that camera? Over there. So once you have the X's done, then you'll move into, and again, change the color to whatever you would like that to be.
Keep forgetting I have a trash can.
I keep forgetting I don't. All right, so we have a matching bobbin and a matching top thread, and we're going to do that satin stitch around the O's now. Again, we're going to stop after 1. You would not normally do that.
Right. And then we'll show you our finished set.
Leaned over and it's like, oh. So Connie said she thinks she'll make hers without the mylar. I totally understand the thought process there. But you need to have something in there, or there's nothing to connect the inner of the O to the outside of the O. I was wondering if we used like a Lux vinyl or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that would be fun.
Yeah.
The only concern I had about that was the thickness. I don't know that the satin stitch is heavy enough to cover
Right.
the outside of that heavier product. But maybe, you know, you could even try like a glitter
Yeah, like heat transfer
heat
vinyl.
transfer vinyl or something like that.
You could put that on the top and the bottom.
You could, and you could even
And then-
still tear that
Mm-hmm.
with the stitches there.
Yep.
So, all right. So we have a what to do and what not to do here.
Yes.
You want to make sure that your mylar is trimmed before you do this stitch. So this is wrong. Do not do this. I had my arm
Sorry.
on that. I'm hoping that I'm not gonna.
Should I?
We
reset
might
it?
want to restart because my arm. I don't feel it. I heard it, but it didn't physically move.
Okay.
And then here we have that all trimmed. And that is what you want to do before you stitch that final outline. So make sure that you don't skip that step. It is obviously very easy to do.
Yes.
All right, so once you have all 6 X's and all 6 O's stitched, then we're going to trim. And so we're going to pop that out of the hoop and we're going to trim approximately 1/8 of an inch. You want to flip sides over here. So pardon me. So these were our original pieces, and the more you cut away, the less there will be to rinse. Not that that is a whole lot to rinse, but just, you know, a difference of how much you're going to have to take off. You can do this by completely dousing them, or you can have, a lot of times I'll just get my finger wet and do edges. But I think for these, I would just dump them.
Me too.
I think I would just dunk. So trim off any of your back threads again, and then you need to get all of those done. So we have 6 X's and 6 O's. And just so that you can see the color differences, this one was done with white in the center and light purple in the center here. So you can see that difference. And then we alternated colors, which isn't making it confusing at all. But this has a teal center and a teal outside, and this one has a white center and a purple outside. So you can see if you like the contrast of that, or if you like the softer look of the matching. There's not a right or a wrong, but feel free to play with your threads. Don't just follow the directions.
Correct.
So have some fun with that and see what you want them to end up being. So I do recommend that they be different colors, the X's and the O's, just from, you want to be able to know which team's playing where, right?
Right.
Make it easier to see on the board. All right, so that is how you'll complete that. Once it's stitched, we're going to trim. You can just pop it right out of the hoop and then trim around and get all of those with just a little edge to them and then get them wet. The next part is going to be stitching the sack itself. And to do that, we've got the design, which is just the hashtag plus the words Tic Tac Toe. And we're going to do that in teal and purple, I think.
Yes.
Unless you want to do
No,
like the hash of this.
I think teal and purple is
Okay.
perfect.
But again, you can do, you know, whatever design it is that you, so here's the original coloring just so that you guys can see.
But we probably want our centering design to be white.
Yeah.
So it doesn't show through.
Yeah,
underneath.
I would agree. So figure out what colors that you want to do. And there's a little bit of prep that we're going to need to do on the bag itself. So when it comes out of the packaging, you get, again, 2 of these in the package. And that is going to need to be marked and folded so that it goes into the hoop. Stupid mylar stuck to me. All right, so what we'll do, is you will open that up so that you can see the raw stitching. So this is the wrong side. And we're going to then on the right edge here. So again, your drawstring casing is up here. And this is the wrong side. So I can see the stitching there. It's not the finished edge. All right, just to clarify which one's going to go here. And what we want to do is we want to mark a 1/4 inch away from our edge here. What's important to do is try to keep that square. So your edge here, you know you're working with a blank, right? It's probably not going to be completely squared. So my edge turns up here a little bit. My top edge is nice and straight. So I'm going to use that edge of my ruler and make sure that I stay straight there. And what we need to mark is a 1/4 inch away. So with my ruler line, again, even with that, I need to come here until I have a 1/4 inch. So you'll see that you can see through the ruler. I think there's a little bit of a glare here, but there's a lot more seam down here than there is up there. Completely normal. Don't stress over it. And what we're going to do then is we're going to make sure that you're square again and then mark that line. All right. The line is again going to be on the inside of the bag, not on the outside of the bag. All right. That's all you're going to need that ruler for. So you can set your ruler out of the way. And once you have that, you're going to flip it over. I'm going to switch bags now because I didn't iron this one yet. So it's I have a line in the wrong spot. All right. So this is basically where we left off. All right. From there, I'm going to flip the entire bag this direction, and I am going to fold the two together. And I need to make sure that everything is square. So again, I'm going to line up those top edges. And then I took this over to the iron and I pressed out the fold line that was in the bag because it wasn't in the right spot. And I made a new center line. All right. So I literally pressed it, no lines.
Yep.
So I got everything off so that there were no fold lines or anything there. And then I'm creating a new one by matching up. And again, you want to make sure that your top edge is nice and straight there. And then I pressed again over here so that I had a fold. In the directions, it says to use a pin. I am not a pin center marker in general.
Yeah, pressing is easier.
Pressing I find way easier, number one. And number two, if I have a loose pin and I'm folding things, I invariably stab myself multiple times.
And then you're trying to figure out how to get blood off your
and
brush.
then I got blood and then I got it and I don't want to deal with that. So when you are looking at it here, all right, you're going to have a center line. The directions are telling you to put a pin here. So if you're trying to match what I'm doing to your directions, I'm on page 7, line up those top edges and they're telling you to put a pin here. I just hit it with my iron. All right. So that is what we're going to do there. Once we have that, we need to open this so that we have the pretty side towards us. If you use the pin, you would have a pin right here. I have a nice crease here so I can see that super easy. I'm going to fold, and that line that I drew is what I'm going to line up to my center mark, not the edge, but my seam allowance is what I'm looking for. So I want to make sure that my design is not going to be a 1/4 inch off center.
Right.
That's why we're marking this. So with that line, that is where I am matching up that mark to that fold line or that pin, whichever you used. All right. So then I have a fold here now. Okay. So
now you've got a center between the edge and your seam allowance.
that is correct. So this is not necessarily, so if you look at it, it's shifted a little bit from here, center. That's because that's going to be in the seam.
Right. And will not be the edge of the bag.
It won't be the edge of the bag. So if I don't do this 1/4 inch marking, I'm going to end up with my design slightly off center.
Yes.
So it's very important you don't skip that. From here,
Teresa, just quickly, yes, Teresa is asking, is that a blank that we're working?
yes.
Yes.
So this is the blank. You get 2 in the pack, and they finish to about 5.5 by 8.
Yep.
So again, you get 2 of those. All right. And this system, you're going to do every time you stitch the bag, because you want to make sure that you're accounting for that
Seam
extra.
allowance, yep.
All right, because you only have that seam on the outside edge. You don't have it on both sides like you do for
Like if you
the
were
zipper bag,
right, or if
blanks
you were
and things
making
like
one.
that.
Yep.
You know, those blanks, you don't do this step because you sew both sides.
Right.
So you're going to evenly take off, in theory.
Makes sense. Yeah.
You're going to, this one, there's only a fold here. So
that
you
makes
need to
sense.
account for that. And that's why this is different than some of the other blanks. All right,
total
once you have here, we're going to take the bottom and we're going to fold it up to the casing. And that is basically then going to mark the center of the lower half of the bag.
Okay.
And that is the corner we're going to put in the hoop.
All right.
All right, so once you have your little, I was telling her, I feel like after all of that folding and things, I need to be able to like throw it and it should fly or something. But
It's a bad paper airplane.
it is not a good paper airplane. It definitely falls down on the chop, literally. All right. So this time around, we are going to use sticky tearaway. And I've got that in the hoop. Again, I'm in a 5x7 hoop. You're going to need to score. So just so you guys know, that little grippy grid makes this not easy to score on. So maybe score on a different surface.
Yeah, it's squishy, right?
It is squishy. Look at how that tore. Isn't that beautiful? I'll get there, an hour from now. You guys can watch me struggle.
You should turn and work on your extra workspace on the wood. Not that.
Yeah. I don't know about that. That's a new concept for me. All right. But just so you guys know, we struggle sometimes too. I mean, I do. I can't speak for Sarah. I'm sure Sarah's perfect all the time.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yep. I didn't want to like slam you or anything though. So, all right. So the first thing that we're going to do, we're going to place that back at the machine, and we're going to stitch color stop 1 of design number 2. And this is going to just be a center crosshair.
So we added both the crosshair and the Tic Tac Toe design together. So we have more than, so we have 3 color stops instead of just the 2 that you would have originally had in the design.
But they do provide you the crosshair
yes.
With the design. So not that you probably don't already have one, but you do get that.
Yes, but it's not, it's in the design, but it's not combined with the design, just as an FYI.
Right. We added them. It didn't come as one.
Yes.
All right. So I can see that really well. I don't know how well you guys can. I guess it's not actually too bad. So if you are following along in your directions, it does show you where to place that. All right. So right here, we're looking for that top corner right there. Your excess bag is going to go this way. So we're going to come up here. Was that for me?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm putting the light purple, and I changed my mind in the colors. Light purple, dark purple for Tic Tac Toe.
Works for me.
So I'm using color number ES387, and I didn't have it on that camera. I'm sorry. It's there now.
Oh, should I go back?
Yes, please. It's hard to get good help.
All right. So, ta-da! Here we are. And we've got our crosshair centering stitch there. And I know you can see that a little bit, but it's not super crazy because we did it in white. We did it in white because I wanted to make sure that I didn't get any show through This is a light colored bag, so it's pretty heavy, but at the same time, if I put a super dark thread back there,
Yeah,
no promises that I'm not going to see it.
true.
So we are again, as the directions show, I'm going to go in that upper right-hand corner, and it shows you that in your directions again on page 7, upper right-hand corner, and you want your excess bag going to the right, not over the handle of your hoop. And we're going to line that up. We're going to open and again line that up on that center line. And then we're going to open the last one, and we're going to just smooth that over. So you'll have a little bit of a fold bump there. So just smooth it. Don't just set it down. Make sure you don't end up with that bump there. And that is literally all there is to it. So we didn't draw anything, so there's absolutely no benefit in turning it over because there's nothing for you to check.
Right.
So it's literally, if you're not sure, if you are like, wow, that looks super crooked or something, then take it off and just do it again. It's not a big deal.
Try it again.
All right. So this is totally good enough for who it's for. So that's just me. So, and you. Here we go. So now we are back at the hoop into the machine, and the first thing that's going to stitch is the grid there, and then the little tabs in between there. So
Let's start, shall we?
we shall. Which one? How's that arc going? Why is it being changed? It doesn't change anything.
It does not. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's cute because that'll contrast with the colors of the X's and O's.
It will.
I was gonna put purple, but then I was like, oh, it'll be
Then
the
it'll
same.
match one of them.
Right, but I think Tic Tac Toe should be purple at the bottom.
Yeah, or we could get like super crazy and do tick and toe in one, and
We could.
we could stop and change thread
We could.
because we can.
We can. Right? You just, yeah,
We're
it's Wild
feeling-
Wednesday.
Feeling feisty over here.
Oh.
All right, so if I know you guys can't tell because your angle is coming in from the side, but I'm like, wow, that looks off center, but it's not.
Right.
It is because we needed it to be.
Right.
So if as you're stitching, you're like, oh, I screwed up.
No.
Nope, it's okay. You know, your account. Oh, what happened there? That wasn't just me, was it?
Nope.
Okay. I was like, I suppose that could have just been my eyes. Just don't want anybody to panic.
No.
So anybody got anything good to watch?
I watched Totally Hilarious Girls 5 Eva. Have you ever seen it?
No.
It's on Netflix. It is, it's obviously a made up girl group. There are 3 seasons, but they're short seasons. And they were like popular in their early teens, and then they break up, and then they get back together as,
Adults.
yes, like as 35, 40-year-old adults.
Oh, okay.
And it's pretty hysterical, the songs that they sing and all of that stuff. Who is, Sarah Bareilles? No, I always say her name wrong. Yes. She is one of the actresses in there. Teresa says,
I see Bridgerton.
Bridgerton.
Yeah. I feel like I need to watch the end of last season's before
Before you
I
catch
start
up.
this
Yeah.
one. I've watched them all, but I don't know. Last season bugged me. I wasn't like glued. Um, I didn't want them to fight and
Yeah.
all of that. So I feel like I maybe didn't absorb all of that, but I definitely want to see. So I feel like I already know what happens because of all of the stuff that's been out and
Right.
but that's okay.
But if you want something to laugh at, Girls
Girls
5 Eva.
5 Eva.
Yes, because 5 is longer than 4 ever. Hysterical.
Wow.
Totally silly. Teresa loved the inks last year.
Did you? I don't know. I just I don't know. I mean, I didn't hate it I didn't mean like that, but it just it wasn't what I needed at the time. But
Right.
of course, now
Right.
is a different time. So
Right.
maybe I'll thoroughly enjoy it right now.
Yeah.
Who knows?
True.
So I just feel like I need to tuck that back in. So one thing I didn't mention is our excess bag that we're not stitching on is just hanging out over there in the middle. In the instructions, they do mention possibly clipping that. Using some like binder clips or something like that. You can't see that at all. Let's try that. There we go. Not binder clips. What are
Wonder
those?
clips.
Wonder clips. I worked with removing a lot of binder clips this weekend from random spots.
Yeah.
So this is small enough that for me that is not a big deal. But just FYI.
We also have a pretty big space here, so
We
if
do.
you didn't have a lot
If your machine is smaller,
you might want to
you
do
might
that.
want to do that. So this is the color that was the center of our purple X's in the original.
Yes.
So just FYI. This one we do not need to change our bobbin thread in case anybody's at home wondering if they're supposed to. You don't need to worry about that this time around.
We're using that dark purple again, just that Floriani color. And we're going to do the words Tic Tac Toe and not sing an inappropriate song.
No. And we were joking that if you wanted, you could stop, change color, and actually add more color down there if you had the desire to do so.
Yes.
I don't think we'll do that, but you could if you wanted to, for sure. This is really cute.
It is very cute and not terribly difficult. Some of the Kimberbell...
The trimming of the mylar isn't hard. It is time consuming,
Yeah.
but it is not hard. So don't let that scare you away from that. But outside of that, this is a pretty straightforward project.
Yeah. And really, if you really wanted to do this and have a little bit of fun, let's say you do have a scan and cut or you have a cutting thing, right? You could do like X's and O's on your scan and cut out of that Luxe vinyl. They don't have to be double-sided. They don't even have to have stitching on them because that's a sewable vinyl.
Yeah, you could just cut them.
You could just cut them, and then you could do, like, the bags stitch up in no time. So you could do a bunch of bags, and then you could just do vinyl X's and O's.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, you could even do, like, different letters. So if you were giving it to somebody, you could put, like, their first initial and their last initial instead of X's and O's.
We could make wedding games, and it could be, you know, S's and Z's.
S's and Z's, yes.
Because that's not confusing at all.
Right. As long as they're different letters or different colors, it doesn't matter.
But using a vinyl, a heavy, like a marine vinyl, or I mean, shoot, you could even do cork or something like that if you want. I mean, you could do literally anything.
Right. You could just cut the letters instead of stitching them, and then it would go even that much quicker. And you have built-in fonts that you could use. You just want them to probably be like a, what do you think those are? Maybe about an inch? Inch and a half?
I don't know.
Maybe an inch and a quarter?
Inch and a quarter, maybe. probably when you rinse it closer to that inch, but
Yeah.
somewhere between there. Definitely they're a little bigger than an inch, but not, maybe like an inch and an eighth
Mhm.
is, doing that again.
I know.
Get like a loopy.
Sitting too close. It knows. Loriani gods are watching. Sarah's stitching with it. Let me misbehave.
Pretty much. I like the purple.
I know this is adorable. I think this is one of my favorite projects we've done so far this year.
Like I was saying, I don't know the last time I played Tic Tac Toe,
Yeah,
but I am now in the mood.
right. I watched the meta, the 3D thing. I was watching some silly videos on there, and they were playing like an imaginary kickball game with tic tac toe. So they had the board, and you had to
kick
kick
your
it.
whatever
Mhm.
into the space.
Yeah.
Could totally make some of these
Wedding gifts? Is that what you're thinking?
for the wedding and just have them out
then
that people could play at
play.
the table.
Yeah.
Be fun.
Yeah. And not too terribly time consuming.
No. Especially if I wasn't stitching the letters, if I could just cut them.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, even if you use like a fusible,
Yeah.
you could double side them and
Exactly.
just mirror image.
Yeah.
And have a second one that
Mhm.
makes them pretty on both sides.
Yeah.
Of course, then you would.
Could you just fuse 2 layers of heat transfer vinyl together first and then cut?
Maybe.
Because then you wouldn't have
never
to
tried
line
that,
up.
and then we're gonna have to try that.
We'll have to try that because that would be easy, and then it's double-sided, and you could just cut once.
We are almost done with that. So once you are done
You just
stitching,
have a side seam and a bottom seam, right?
we're gonna tear everything away. We're gonna flip it over, and we're gonna sew up the side and the bottom. That's it. So this picture, that doesn't look quarter to me. I think that's like right on the line. This one says quarter, but it doesn't look like
It
a
says
quarter.
1/4 inch though. It says using a sewing machine, stitch the bottom and side of the cinch sack with a 1/4 inch seam allowance.
You do want to make sure your
Do not
drawstrings
stitch
are.
the drawstrings into the seam.
Yep. So do we have a sewing foot?
Yep.
Okay.
So while you're tearing,
I will tear and you change over.
Yep.
Okay. All right, you want to flip screen?
I do.
Alrighty, so here we go. How cute is that? So sharp and simple, which I love. So I'm just gonna pop that right out of the hoop. And I'm gonna turn that to the back, and we are going to peel and gently tear. And I'm kind of holding my stitches just to make sure that I'm not getting any real stress on the end of my seams. I want to just make sure I don't have any pulled stitches there. All right. And then that tack down is just got to be snipped to remove that. All right. Well, that might just stay right there because it's not coming up. All right, so there we have everything out. We're now just going to match these up. What you do want to make sure is that this is not going to be sewn into, well, that was fun. Into your side seam, otherwise it won't do a whole heck of a lot. So I am just going to pull those in and tape them out of the way. And we just match up. Again, you're looking to match up your top and that casing. The rest doesn't really matter. And then your bottom seam is going to be the same. I don't imagine you need me to pin that one.
Okay, and then we're just going to stitch this up. So we've got some sewing thread in there, and I am actually going to go back to center needle position, and I'm just going to stitch right on that drawn line since it wasn't super straight, but that's the mark that we used
to make things
centered. And I'm going to do a little bit of back tacking there.
Yep, absolutely.
And
kind of feel with your fingers and make sure, even though, you know, make sure that those cords are not being caught in the seam.
Because that would be no fun. This part obviously doesn't have to be super perfect because it really is just the bottom or the side.
And again, 1/4 inch all the way across the bottom. The only thing that you want to look out for on that is to make sure that your serged stitches are in the seam allowance.
Yep.
Versus not.
And then we just flip it, right?
Yep. I think they recommend you trim that, but I
Trim
don't
the
know
edge,
that
yeah,
that really
if you need
matters. And you flip that little guy.
And then we made sure the cording is gonna come. Look at how nice that lined up. Good job, Lisa.
I tried.
You did a good job.
Sometimes things work.
This is better than the last project, the fanny pack.
Oh my
that
Lord.
was hard to box
That
those
was something
corners.
else, man.
Look at how cute.
That is freaking adorable. Isn't that cute?
Yeah.
Tic Tac Toe. And then of course you can use your turning tool to get your corners
And clip
and
diagonally across the you know, those pieces if you want a little extra.
Yep. And then you have your,
It's so cute.
set myself up for a winning day.
Yes.
There you go.
Cute. Good job. Look at you won.
I did. Don't have quite enough letters out there, but there we go. That looks a little better.
Yay! Not too bad.
So that is literally all there is to this. So I think this one is one of the easier ones that we've had. Again, there's a little trimming in there, but trimming's not hard. It's just a little bit of time. So take your time, do all of that. It is so cute. And now I want to go try some things with S's and Z's.
That would be very cute.
I think that'll be a lot of fun.
Very cute. All right.
So, all right. Thanks for hanging. We will see you this afternoon. Don't forget to check back in and see what's new at LeBou.
we're going to do the store tour.
We are. We'll see you
Yeah.
then. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Bye.
Bye.